For the past 4 months, I've been making a detective game about unraveling 400 years of family history. There's murders, betrayals, romance, drama, all of your typical detective game trappings. But underneath all that, let's just say something a little more magical and disturbing lies beneath. But before I tell you about all that, and believe me, I want to tell you, I wanted to show you how I got here. In this video, I'll be talking about some of the key inspirations, problems I've encountered early on in development, and the process I underwent in preparing myself to develop such a big project. A project that would take over a year of my life. Though, if all you want is to just see more of the game, I left a link in the description to my Steam page. Needless to say that giving it a wishlist would make all the difference in the world to me as a small-time developer. It shows the Steam algorithm and me that there are people in this world who are interested in cool projects like this. But I digress. Let's talk about detective games. For those roguelike sweats or Madden players watching, you may not know this, but we're in a golden age of detective games right now. No indie game has really reached the peak of success like Stardew Valley, or, that other game. But within certain communities of the internet, good old-fashioned mystery games are all the jam nowadays. It feels like you can't turn a corner without hearing someone talking about wanting more of this particular genre of game. And I'd argue that this interest really started with the return of the Obra Dinn. Obra Dinn really jump-started this process. It took the detective genre, something usually buried under dialogue trees and exposition, and flipped it into pure deduction. No multiple choice answers as if you were taking the SAT, no hand-holding, just a monochrome notebook and a ship full of corpses. Every solved mystery felt earned, like you'd cracked something ancient within your brain rather than following a checklist. What's wild is how much it hooked people, not by being flashy or anything, but by being confident in what it wasn't. It's not an easy game by any means, and not particularly inviting. The gameplay and the game feel, however, is so strong that it really carries the action. It's no wonder that it almost unanimously leaves players with a feeling of wanting more. Soon thereafter, other games like this started cropping up, often with that oh-so-coveted blessing of the aptly named Lucas Pope. There was a return of the Golden Idol next, flaunting his name right in the trailer. That game blew up with a similar emphasis on problem solving, although with a different level-based structure instead of the big, all-encompassing mystery surrounding the ship in Obra Dinn. Where Trees Are Dead is another good example of this, where you have to solve a family tree of 60 members over the course of 100 years. YouTuber Jacob Geller recently posted a video on the increasing popularity of The Forbidden City, a mystery game which started as a Steam mod of all things. Other games like Outer Wilds and Tunic also kind of fit within this genre, if you squint a little bit. But there I was, playing these games one after the other, gobbling them up like popcorn. And every single time, I thought to myself, what's next? What's next? What's next? Until there wasn't any obvious next game left. So, that's when I decided to make my own. So here's some context about me. Most of my life, I've been an artist primarily. Back in 2020 during the pandemic, I was making games, sure, but it was all done with the help of my brother. He'd code everything in Godot, and I'd make some 3D models and animations, which were definitely more than a little shoddy, but at the time I thought they were pretty impressive. You can still see a lot of that old stuff on this very YouTube channel. This game was actually the first big project where I had to work on both the art and the code. There was a lot I had to learn, and let me tell you, Godot is hard. From someone who has basically zero programming experience, I had to learn basically everything from scratch. Luckily though, there's websites for this like GD Quest. I totally went through all their tutorials, learning about if-then statements, for loop, making sure to create small prototypes that constantly crashed. I made all of the basic Godot noob mistakes. It was tough, but I just wasn't gonna quit. After a few months of having fun with it, I even started to make my own game with some code of my own. Like this shoot 'em up based on an existing tutorial, but with a few added elements like wall writing and character switching. It's like I was finally reaching the summit of a long hike. I felt like I was finally reaching the point where I could at least start the even bigger journey of starting and finishing my game. Something I could truly call my own. And I'd say that's when Funeral for the Sun really kicked into gear. Now 4 months have passed, and I've got a full prototype. Something real and playable, sometimes even pretty. I feel proud to have gotten this far, and to get my page onto Steam. A Steam page which you should wishlist, by the way. Now, of course, there's still a lot of temporary assets in place. Yeah, that does look pretty jank, doesn't it? But you know, the core is still there. It's a mystery game, with puzzles and deduction and map exploration, with a complex yet satisfying narrative. It's even got a lot of stuff unique to it alone, like this 3D character and 2D environments. You know, something that's based loosely off of the fixed camera angles in old Resident Evil games. There's a full notebook too, with a whole web that you can use to jot down relationships between characters. A little bit of an expanded version on what root trees or dead ones did. Hell, there's even a system that lets you combine 2 characters together, which took way too long to code. But that's a story for another day. This is the type of project I could talk endlessly about, and I very well just might in future videos, given there's enough interest, you know? Since this is the first time I'm doing something like this for Funeral for the Sun, I'm not sure how this video is going to perform. But if it does well, I'll keep making more. I'd say if we can get to around 1,000 views, that'll be pretty nice. There's obviously so much I haven't talked about that I've already got done. And, you know, this game changes pretty frequently, so that list is only just gonna get longer. If you really want to see more content like this, please leave a like, subscribe, all of the important stuff, but more than anything, if you could just leave a wishlist onto the Steam page, that would mean the world to me, like I said earlier. Every person that does this just makes the game slightly more visible, allowing to hopefully reach more potential fans like you. But that's about it from me. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. Hope to hear from you soon.